Our top focus this morning is on COVID cases that are worryingly going up across the country. Let's begin with Delhi first, which has seen a sharp spike in cases, with nearly 500 COVID cases being reported in a day. The national capital has reported 496 COVID cases on Tuesday, with a positivity rate of 0.89%. There's a night curfew in place between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. under the Level 1 of the Graded Response Action Plan. Schools, colleges, cinemas and gyms will remain closed. Shops for non-essential goods and services and markets and malls can open based on the odd-even formula from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restaurants will be permitted with 50% capacity from 8 a.m. again to 10 p.m. Bars can also operate with the same capacity, but the timing is different for them. It's from 12 noon to 10 p.m. Private offices will function with 50% staff. Metro trains and buses will run with 50% of seating capacity in the city. Marriages and funerals will be allowed with an attendance of 20 people, while other political, cultural, religious gatherings are banned in Delhi. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority, meanwhile, will meet today to discuss the current situation. Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and senior officials along with experts will attend the meeting. Unfortunately, it's the same story in Mumbai. After 212 days, the financial capital Mumbai has reported more than 1,000 new COVID cases. The city has reported 1,377 new cases to be exact and one death on Tuesday. That's a 70% jump in its tally. With this surge, active cases in the city have soared past 7,000. Maharashtra's tally also saw an uptick owing to a surge, particularly in the city of Mumbai. Overall, Maharashtra has reported 2,172 new cases. Maharashtra now has over 14,000 active cases of COVID. Now, with less than a week to go before the vaccine drive opens for 15 to 18-year-olds in India, preparations are on in full swing across states. From Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu to the national capital, here's how states are gearing up to administer doses to teenagers.
India is gearing up to vaccinate its teenagers. The vaccination drive for 15 to 18 years old will start on 3rd January. They can only be administered the Covaxin shot. The beneficiaries will have to book their slot on CoWIN website. With less than 1 week to go, all states in India are preparing to vaccinate its young population, especially in view of the anticipated surge in Omicron infections. In Delhi, the eligible children will be vaccinated at the existing centres. They will be administered jabs at government schools and government and private hospitals. In Maharashtra, the number of eligible teenagers for the vaccine is being ascertained. 3.7% of the state's population is likely to be vaccinated. The state of Tamil Nadu is also gearing up to inoculate 33.2 lakh children. Assam's state departments and district administration are planning to administer vaccines to 18.25 lakh teenagers. And in Haryana, nearly 16 lakh eligible children will receive their first jab. The state government is collecting data on all school-going children. Children who were vaccinated in the trial phase have received their vaccine certificates.
जो पहला डोज लिया तब मुझे थोड़ा सा तो डर लग रहा था कि वैक्सीन लेने के बाद क्या होगा, क्योंकि ट्रायल में ले रहे थे, बट वैक्सीन लेने के बाद कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं आए हमें और कुछ भी जो हमें था वो कुछ हुआ नहीं हमें।
ये घोषणा जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने की है वो उसके बैकड्रॉप में मैं उन सभी लोगों को कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करना चाहूँगा जो बच्चों ने और उनके पेरेंट्स ने ये वैक्सीन की ट्रायल लेने की हिम्मत की और आज उनकी हिम्मत की भरोसे ही ये ट्रायल सक्सेसफुल होने के बाद बाकी सभी बच्चों के लिए ये वैक्सीन ओपन की जा रही है।
With Omicron cases on the rise, India is leaving nothing to chance by opening up vaccination to the younger population. Bureau Report, India Today.
As fears of a third wave looms large in India, a mega boost to the country's fight against COVID is that 2 vaccines, made in India vaccines, and 1 game-changing antiviral drug have now been approved by India's drug controller in a matter of 24 hours. Milind Sharma gets you all the details you need to know about these 2 new vaccines and the anti-COVID pill.
India's drug regulator has green-lighted 3 major medical interventions to fight COVID-19. These approvals have come in the last 24 hours. The drug controller has now approved Biological E's Corbevax vaccine, Serum Institute's Covovax vaccine, and Merck's antiviral pill Molnupiravir. The approvals come a day after the subject expert committee recommended the approval for all 3 under certain conditions. Corbevax vaccine is India's first indigenously developed RBD protein subunit vaccine against COVID-19, made by Hyderabad-based firm Biological E. The nanoparticle vaccine, Covovax, will be manufactured by Pune-based firm Serum Institute of India. Molnupiravir, an antiviral drug, will now be manufactured in the country by 13 companies for restricted use under emergency situation for treatment of adult patients with COVID-19 who have a high risk of progression of the disease. Health Minister Mansukh Mandviya tweeted about the official announcement.
As per estimates by the government, Biological E's vaccine Corbevax could be available sooner because the government had already asked the company to stockpile about 10 crore doses at risk. The government of India had also paid for 30 crore doses in advance. But when it comes to the Serum Institute's vaccine, Covovax vaccine, the vaccine was told to be stockpiled by the Drug Controller General. The permission was granted on May 17 this year. But the Serum Institute has been exporting the vaccines. 2 crore doses were supposed to be sent to Indonesia, of which 90 lakh have already been exported, the sources said.
Sources said Biological E's Corbevax has stockpiled 10 crore doses against the advance orders of 30 crore doses paid for by the Government of India worth 1,500 crore rupees. The DCGI gave Serum Institute of India permission to manufacture and stock Covovax on May 17th. Serum Institute stockpiled the vaccine. Permission was granted to export 2 crore doses to Indonesia, of which 90 lakh have been exported, say sources. Merck's anti-COVID pill Molnupiravir will treat adult COVID-19 patients with SpO2 93% and who have high risk of progression of the disease. Dr. Reddy's laboratories, in consortium with Cipla, Milan, Torrent, Emcure and Sun Pharma, presented their proposal for approval of Molnupiravir 200 mg capsules. The pill will be sold by retail only under prescription of medical doctors. The drug is not authorized for use in patients less than 18 years of age or for use for longer than 5 consecutive days and for pregnant women. With these 3 approvals, India has added more to its arsenal in the battle against COVID-19 and Omicron. With Milind Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, what comes as a big setback to Punjab Congress chief Navjot Singh Sidhu? The Congress has decided not to declare as of now its chief ministerial candidate before the elections. Navjot Singh Sidhu has been projecting himself as a chief ministerial candidate, but infighting remains a primary concern for the Gandhis. That's perhaps why the party right now is hesitating to declare a chief ministerial candidate. The Congress wants to use Sidhu to pull the Jhat vote. Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi will be the party's big Dalit face, and Sunil Jakhar will be the Congress Hindu face in the CM race. The Congress is trying to contest the Punjab polls under collective leadership and does not want to hurt its chances of winning. But after the exit of Captain Amrinder Singh, factionalism did not end in Punjab Congress but only escalated further. A section of Congress leaders are not happy with Sidhu's many tantrums and also his unilateral decisions. Sidhu is at loggerheads with cabinet ministers like Rana Gurjeet Singh, Tript Rajinder Singh Bajwa and Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa. Despite taking back his resignation as Congress chief, Sidhu keeps attacking Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi publicly too. And the sinister plot to bleed Punjab ahead of the elections has been unearthed. Key conspirator in the Ludhiana court blast case has been detained in Germany. Jaswinder Singh Multani, a member of banned outfit Sikhs for Justice, got explosives delivered from Pakistan using drones for the December 23rd blast. Here's all that we know so far from the investigation.
A Pakistan Khalistan terror conspiracy was what agencies suspected when they began their probe in the blast in Ludhiana. The terror plot to bleed Punjab in election season has now been established. Police in Germany have detained Jaswinder Singh Multani, who is believed to be key plotter of December explosion in the Ludhiana court premises. A member of the band Sikhs for Justice, Multani is said to be instrumental in having explosive delivered in tranches from Pakistan using drones. India today has learned that the blast conspiracy was hatched in a Ludhiana jail along with Gagandeep Singh, the ex-cop who died while reportedly assembling the bomb in a court toilet. Punjab police suspects that the conspirators were in touch over the phone in jail. A dongle with Wi-Fi was found at the blast site, and that could have been used to establish contact.
When he was in jail, we feel that he came in touch with various other members of the mafia and terrorist groups. And that is where this blending, merging, this dangerous cocktail came up. And so he came to take his own sort of revenge against the courts, against the legal system, against society.
Is there any external link? Are fingers pointing towards Pakistan?
Yes.
Multani's sinister plot to disrupt peace wasn't restricted to Punjab. The 45-year-old was also planning to carry out terror strikes in Delhi and Mumbai. Intel input suggests he was planning to send more explosive material from Pakistan to Punjab-based operatives. A close associate of Sikhs for Justice founder Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, Multani had also conspired to kill farmer leader Balbir Singh Rajiwal during the farmers' protest. He had radicalized a man called Jeevan Singh to kill Rajiwal, but Singh was arrested before he could procure arms for the killing. Multiple cases have been registered against Multani in Firozpur, Amritsar and Taran districts of Punjab. BJP claims that the Congress government in Punjab did not act despite ample warnings.
पंजाब की सरकार क्योंकि सरकार और के मुखिया और सरकार चलाने वाली पार्टी के मुखिया वहां वो दोनों आपसी झगड़े में इतने बिजी हैं कि मुझे लगता है कि वो शायद उस रिपोर्ट पर जिस गंभीरता से काम करना चाहिए वो नहीं कर पाए.
Since a breakthrough with discovery of a cop being linked to the Ludhiana blast case, the Punjab police has moved very quickly. Along with the agencies, they have found the SFJ Khalistani link along with the ISI. What is important is that they are looking at possible ways that ISI is trying to use the gangster module along with some of the elements in an organized crime to ensure that they can have blast like the one witnessed in Ludhiana, and this could only be the tip of the iceberg. There have been more plans in the offing, but Punjab police is moving quickly to ensure that there is peace before the Punjab polls. With camera person Dalveer Singh, this is Kamaljeet Sandhu in Mohali for India Today.
Let's get you also this report this morning on how you've got resident doctors on a warpath across the country, particularly in Delhi. The delay in NEET PG exams has left students in a never-ending wait for admissions, and the showdown between resident doctors and cops in Delhi has only irked the protesters further. Doctors are now asking for a written assurance from the government for their NEET counselling.
Anxiety, fear of future.
25 साल की उम्र हो गई है, घर वाले पूछ रहे हैं या इतना डॉक्टर बन गया है, जॉब क्यों नहीं कर रहा है ना, वो भी तो क्वेश्चन मार्क पर आ रहा है.
Helplessness. The medical post-graduation aspirants are looking at an uncertain future. The unending wait for NEET PG counselling has left the students in despair. First, it was the pandemic, and now it is a revised government reservation policy.
मैं एक नीट पीजी एस्पिरेंट हूँ और मैंने 2021 में नीट पीजी दिया है। मैंने 2019 में दिसंबर में अपनी इंटर्नशिप कंप्लीट कर ली थी। उसके बाद एक साल के गैप के बाद मुझे 2021 में जनवरी में एग्ज़ाम देना था नीट पीजी का। वो एग्ज़ाम पता नहीं क्यों 2021 के अप्रैल तक डिले कर दिया हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने, जो पता नहीं क्यों डिले किया, हमें आज तक नहीं पता।
The students claim that the prolonged wait wasted an entire year of their career.
There are no clear signs, and for the past 1 year, our whole batch that is appearing and all of the other NEET PG aspirants have been waiting for this. So there is a mood of depression also, and an anxiety also, and a state of fear that what will happen and when we will be joining.
Preparing for the exams multiple times with revised dates too is a painstaking task for these aspirants. Adding to their woes is the financial burden of these preparations amidst the pandemic.
लगभग 1,80,000 डॉक्टर्स घर पे बैठे हुए हैं, है ना। टोटल पीजी सीट्स हमारी 45,000 होती है ना। इतनी बार हमारा एग्जाम डिले हुआ, 3 बार हमारा एग्जाम डिले हुआ, है ना। कितनी बार हम प्रिपरेशन करेंगे? एक तो फाइनेंशियली बर्डन भी आ रहा है हमारे पास, हम इतने स्ट्रेसफुल भी हो रहे हैं। उसके बाद जैसे लोग बोल रहे कि हम जीआरशिप कर सकते हैं, कहाँ से जीआरशिप करें? 1,80,000 डॉक्टर्स बैठे हुए हैं, जीआरशिप की कितनी पोस्ट होती है?
The students say they are ready to help people in the fight against COVID. But government's inaction is costing them valuable time.
We want to also know from the government what is the delay about. कोविड में इलेक्शंस होते हैं, कुंभ मेला होता है, सारी रैलीज होती हैं, बट एक एग्जाम नहीं होता है और एक काउंसलिंग नहीं होती है। ये इसका रीजन तो I also want to know from the government.
We spoke to one of the resident doctors who explained how the entire process has become a cause of concern.
जब हमारे यहाँ तो नहीं बचेंगे तो हम क्या कोरोना ठीक करेंगे किसी का? हम मेंटल प्रेशर में वैसे ही हैं। हम एक सप्ताह में 36 घंटे लगातार ड्यूटी करते, 3 दिन बिना सोए।
The showdown during the protest in Delhi on Monday acted as fuel to the fire. While these resident doctors continue their strike demanding PG counselling, patients are at the receiving end.
कह रहे डॉक्टर आए नहीं है, फ्राइडे को आएंगे, और पिछले फ्राइडे को आई थी मैं, जब भी मतलब नहीं थे। लेकिन पर्ची बनाने वाले तो बैठ रहे हैं, तो वो भी क्यों बैठ रहे हैं? वो भी नहीं बैठे, फिर क्यों आए जनता? हम तो आगरा से आते हैं यहाँ पे। हाँ।
With Amit Bharadwaj, Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. Ngiri and Rabada had India in the docks after they forced a collapse early on day 3. But the visitors made a roaring comeback into the test, all thanks to their pacers who had South Africa on the ropes throughout the first innings. So check out how Virat Kohli and co seized control of the first test at Centurion.
278 for 3 to 327 all out. 7 wickets lost for just 49 runs. A collapse that reminded of the horrors of Adelaide.
Weaknesses for a long time.
KL Rahul was the first to depart, adding a solitary run to his overnight score of 122.
That's what they needed. They needed to strike early.
His wicket opened the floodgates. Ajinkya Rahane followed, and so did the other remaining batsmen. The Indians had no answer for Ngidi and Rabada. India were in doldrums when they could only muster 327 in total.
He's got his 3rd wicket.
But then Indian pacers ripped through the South African top order. Captain Dean Elgar was picked off by Bumrah in the very first over, and at lunch, South Africa were 21 for 1. Mohammad Shami and co were then breathing fire right after lunch, reducing the host to 32 for 4.
A sharp catch, and Mohammad Siraj has his first wicket here.
The Indians, though, had a big scare when Jasprit Bumrah had to be taken off the field after he twisted his ankle in his delivery stride.
It's gone down quickly. This could be a huge blow for India.
With Bumrah not there, the pressure eased off a bit. Temba Bavuma and Quinton de Kock then put together a 72-run stand to provide a semblance of hope to the Proteas.
Up and over.
However, just when the two looked set for a big score, Shardul Thakur broke the partnership before tea.
Care of him. I thought they had won the ball before.
Mulder didn't last long in the post-tea session, and Bauma too perished to Shami soon after he got to his 50.
Reward for perseverance by the Indian attack.
While Rabada and Janssen offered a bit of resistance, they couldn't hold fort for too long.
Wow, what a shot!
Thakur trapped Janssen in front before Shami and Rabada caught behind for his 200th test wicket, completing his second 5-wicket haul in South Africa in the process.
5-wicket haul for him and also his 200th international wicket in test matches. Mohammad Shami.
Jasprit Bumrah, who was back on the field after the injury scare, provided the finishing touches to give India a massive 130-run lead.
Great bit of bowling by Jasprit Bumrah as well. It's been a great effort by Team India.
Even as India lost Mayank Agarwal early in the innings, India surely have their noses well ahead in the test. Day 4 should be another cracker. Sports Bureau, India Today.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of First Up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead. I'll be joining you with the top stories in just a few moments from now, so do stay with us.